Hello. Welcome to my Thursday afternoon Facebook Live video. Today I'm sharing with you one of our projects that we recently had at our class for last week. At the moment, my classes, I'm teaching through the catalogue. So I'm teaching lots of skills. Last month we did masking, and this next month we're doing texture. That's why it's open at that page. Last month we did lots of masking techniques from that page. This month, when I get to the page, we did watercolour techniques for our classes. So we created this lovely pear card, which I really enjoyed, and we created this cool card using the soft pastels. And then we also did this idea here using watercolour pencils and blender pens, which is what I'm showing you right now. So I'm using Layers of Beauty as my stamp set, and you do need a big block for this. I think that's the only stamp I need out of that stamp set. And I'm also, for my greeting, using Hello from this new stamp set that's available online this month. So I really like that stamp set because it's got lots of really great, well, let me show you, sorry, didn't mean to put it away. Lots of lovely congratulations, thinking of you, thank you, love you, happy anniversary, all of those sorts of things. And there's a birthday as well. So you can do birthday wishes, anniversary wishes. So you've got two different fonts for most of them, okay? So that's the two stamps I need. That's all I need for this project. Now I've got a new light, so I'm just going to adjust that a little bit so you get a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. So I'm hoping it doesn't glare so much, but I'll just leave this here just in case. All right, I've used Very Vanilla for my card base and combined that with Pecan Pie for both of the layers, and I'm using for my main image watercolour paper. Watercolour paper is pure cotton. It does have a texture, but it is fantastic for adding lots and lots of water to. It doesn't peel or get as stressed as ordinary cardstock does. And I'm also got this tiny little label that actually comes from the Greetings of the Season dies. Lots of great labels, 9 different labels in that set. So this one is in that one. Okay, so I'm using Stays On ink to because it's solvent based, waterproof, so that you can do lots of layering with liquids and your ink won't run. Okay. Now, because we're using watercolour paper, you do need to use really good pressure and ink up your stamp really, really well. So I'm really pounding on that stamp, giving it lots of ink, and then when I'm stamping it onto my card, give it lots of great pressure. Okay, really pushing it there. All right, so there you go, that's that bit. And then my piece for inside, I'm just going to do another little bit just in the corner. Continue. So when my class members did this, they got to experience the difference between using watercolour paper and ordinary cardstock for this particular technique. Okay, so there we go. There's my stamping all done. Just pop you over there. Now, the exciting thing about this card is that when you use your watercolour pencils, which are really lovely soft lead, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo and Cherry Cobbler out of watercolour, the watercolour assortment number 2. And then I'm also going to, for my leaves, use Old Olive and Daffodil Delight for my leaves. Okay, just pop you out of the way. And to blend my pencils, I'm going to use a blender pen. These pens actually have glycerin inside them. They're not water, they have glycerin. They're double-ended, and they're great to use with white ink, but also, as you'll see, they do lovely things when you're colouring with them. Okay, so with the watercolour pencils, I'm not actually colouring in. I'm just scribbling some colour onto each petal using my pencil there. Okay, there's another rose there. Just, as you can see, it's just a scribble. No great detail. I can come back if I need more colour later. And then with my cherry cobbler, I'm going to add colour right to the inside of each of those petals, sort of following along the lines that the artist has made on the edges of each of those, the inside edges of each of those petals. It's already looking amazing, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look here. My pencils could do with a bit of a sharpen. I think it's hard to sharpen the watercolour pencils because the pigment is so soft. Sometimes they break very easily, so you can't sharpen them too easily. Okay, there's my cherry cobbler. Okay, lots of scribbling going on. I'll show you that. And then when you add your blender pen, now I will just scrub off my blender pen, make sure it's clear. When you add your blender pen to what you've done on your watercolour paper, it blends the colour magnificently smoothly. Isn't that amazing? It's like magic, just such a magical technique. And I love that our catalogue has the pages in to teach us these great techniques and ideas. It is a good idea when you are colouring to do each, especially with roses, each petal one by one rather than just colouring all the way over the top. So each petal is a unique and individual shape and has its own bit of shadow and highlights. Okay, even though if you're in a hurry it is tempting to. Now, welcome anyone who's joining me. I like to dial up to watch over here on my other device when I'm doing my Facebook Lives, but it's frozen. So for me to check out who's here, I'd have to stop what I'm doing and fiddle with it. And I thought that you would prefer for me to just keep going. Okay, there's my first rose done, pretty quick, really. There you go, there's a close-up of it for you while I have a fiddle and see if it's working. No, not working. I just have to go out and come back in, I think, to see if I can see what's going on. Rightio, let me go back to colouring so you can see the next rose come to life. There we go, petal by petal, just building up that amazing illustration. And the people who created the stamp sets have done all of the hard work for us. They've created those lovely shapes. Let me just colour in each individual shape. And it really highlights that gorgeous rose. Okay. And my last rose over here. I hope you're having a lovely day. The weather here has been nice, not as freezing as it has been, but cold enough for me to be still wearing a jacket. But then it doesn't have to be too cold for me to do that. I do like to stay toasty warm. There we go. All the roses on that one are done. while I've got my red on my tip of my blending brush, I'll just colour this last rose here. That one will be a petal as well. And a little bit on the edges. Goodness gracious. On each of the pieces here. And seeing as we're using the blender pen and not water, it does do a really good job on standard cardstock as well as the watercolour paper. I think the watercolour paper does allow the blending to happen easier, but it even works quite nicely on your standard cardstock as well. Just the nature of those beautiful blender pens and how they just blend that lovely watercolour pencil smoothly. So my favourite is actually water painters. I love the water painters. They make me feel really, really artistic. But I do know lots of people actually prefer the control that people experience with these guys. So there, it's running clear, so I can start colouring in my leaves now. Okay, and pop some green old olive onto all of the leafy bits. And another leaf there. Sometimes you don't realise where the leaves are until you actually do the final colour. Oh, there's some more bits that I want the red on, I think. Or maybe I'll do that with the little daisy colour. And another leaf there. And then I'm also going to add some Daffodil Delight as well, just to the edges of those leaves and on my little, whatever these little cute flowers are. I'm going to call them yellow daisies. Bit of yellow there. The beauty of the watercolour pencils and the blending brush is that you can blend colours. See, I've got two quite disparate colours here, but the blender pen makes it blend magically. So you could do really artistic stuff like mixing colours just on your palette. There we go. All right, here it is. So watch this. Got my blender pen and I'm dragging that colour around that leaf. And then it creates a new lovely two-tone leaf. Okay, another one there, another one there. I'm not doing too much colouring with those ones because they're so tiny. And also I'm going to do some later on, some more blending around. I love that. I love that combination of the old olive and the Daffodil Delight. Unusual, but I just love the effect it has. Okay. Thank you if you're watching. I really appreciate you watching my videos. I hope you're learning something. I use them as an opportunity to teach. Oh, here's another little daisy up here I missed. Daisy, 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 daisy. Rightio, now I'll do my little flowers. There we go. I'm not a precision colourer. I am a huge fan of, actually I studied art at school, not that I'm any great artist or anything, but my favourite artists were the French Impressionists, who gave the impression of colour by putting colour beside each other. There's a close-up so you can have a look at the detail on the leaves. I'm going to add red centers to my little flowers now, and I'll blend that in as well. And that's created little orange centers with spreading that out a little. Okay, and then my inside card are my inside images. Got my old olive first, just scribble, scribble, scribble. You can see that there's no precision at all. And my little daisy pieces. I can certainly feel the surface under me a lot more with this plain cardstock as opposed to the watercolour paper, which is that much thicker. And red in the centre of my flowers. There we go. Now let's colour these guys in. I'll start with the red because that's what I finished with before. So that's given me slightly peachy looking flowers with the mix of the red and the Daffodil Delight. Just clean you off and then do my leaves. At the blending of the old olive and the Daffodil Delight. Yeah, as I was saying, I love to teach, and if there's anything you want to learn about or you'd like me to do a video about, please let me know. I'd love to help you with your card making conundrums. Okay, so there we go. There was a lid. That's all my colouring in done, which is, I think, quite beautiful. But now I'm going to add some extra texture and colour to my illustrations. I'm going to use my Hello, which is also on the front, just to stamp randomly around the edges of my illustration. So this also serves as a brilliant way of hiding any bits where you haven't gone inside the lines. I'm using Lemon Lolly, which is incredibly pale, so it's pretty hard to see what I'm doing. All it basically does is give a bit of a shadow. There we go, a bit more there. Maybe a bit in between here. And while I've got my Hello in my hand, I will also stamp my label here for the front of my card. So it's a very simple card, basically. It's just the roses are doing all the heavy lifting and the colouring. It's focusing on the colouring. Pop you over there. And then I'm going to use some crushed curry, another yellow, just to add some colour all the way around the edges. So this is my inside piece, going all around the edges, starting with my blending brush right off the edge of my cardstock and then coming in. It's easier to build up your colour than it's impossible to take it away. Okay, so there's the one for inside. And my front panel. So the longest part of this card was doing the colouring in for the illustration. Now the beauty of this lovely layers of beauty stamp set is that you could use it this way or this way. Goes both ways, really, doesn't it? All right, now let's do our assembly. Before that, I'm just going to clean off my trusty cloth nappy. Look at it, it's a work of art. And my oldest child is 30 now, and the youngest is 21. So that nappy would be at least 21 years old, but probably a lot older because I don't think she got any brand new ones. She got the hand-me-downs. Okay, ready for the big reveal? I used these as my teaching panel when I was teaching the class to show how to add scribbles of colour, and then when you use the blending brush it just blends all the colour. But I really like the Flirty Flamingo and Cherry Cobbler combination better. Who knew? But it is so pretty on the flowers. Okay, just pop you there. And then this one also has some stamping on the back. Pop you there. No one will ever know when I put my card together that it has had other stamping underneath. Here we go, that's better. Okay. And pop that one inside my card. Make sure I've got my little hellos going all up the right way. And then this one on the front of my card. And this one has to go, whoops, this way, because that's the way my hellos are going. There we go. What a beautiful stamp set that is. What an absolutely beautiful stamp set. That gorgeous, gorgeous layers of beauty. So much. If you watch my videos regularly, you would know that I used that stamp set to create blue roses last week or the week before. Okay, maybe I should have done that after. I'm going to thread my 3 pieces of this little tassel design for my tag came about because I had used some Flirty Flamingo Baker's twine on something else and tied it in a knot and I couldn't undo it. So I recycled that piece for my original card and just chopped all the ends off, and then that became my feature for the cards for the class. So righty, I have, there we go. Trim all you guys off. Pop a dimensional on the back of here. 1, 2, and then put that on my card. Hello. So I can use this card for any occasion. And I'm using the Tinsel Gems 4-pack because it has this lovely, I don't know what colour yellow it is. If I looked up the website, I would know, but I didn't do that. But it does have a yellow gem. I'm going to add to my card here. 3 there, and 1, 2, another one up there. There we go. Oh, look, this is missing, hun. Must have dropped off somewhere. Okay. Quick fix, seeing I'm here. And, oh, good grief. That's my card for today. I think one just went flying. And here's another colourway that's slightly brighter. For that one I used Granny Apple Green and Garden Green for the leaves. But as I was practicing and learning, I think I liked the Old Olive better, but that's just a personal thing. I like those colours. Thank you so, so much for joining me. I hope you've learnt something new and give it a go. The old watercolour pencils and the blender pens. They're fantastic, these guys, and they do a really lovely job creating beautiful works of art. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye. See you next Thursday. See ya.